The first thing people noticed wasn't the man. It was the way he didn't look. A woman sat curled against the cold. Marble steps outside the towering glass building. Her coat too thin for the biting wind. Her hands wrapped around nothing but air. She didn't call out. Didn't beg loudly. She simply existed, quiet, worn, almost invisible in a city that moved too fast to care. And yet, as the black car pulled up to the curb, her eyes lifted. Hope is a stubborn thing. Ethan Cole stepped out of the car, his polished shoes meeting the pavement without hesitation. Everything about him spoke of success, the tailored suit, the expensive watch, the confidence of someone who had never had to wonder where his next meal would come from. Behind him, his 8-year-old son, Noah, climbed out more slowly, his small hand gripping the edge of the door. "Dad," Noah said softly, glancing toward the woman on the steps. Ethan didn't follow his gaze. He adjusted his cufflinks instead. "We're late," he replied, his voice clipped. "Come on." The woman shifted slightly, as if gathering courage. "Sir, please." It was barely above a whisper. Ethan walked past her like she hadn't spoken at all. Noah lingered. There was something about her, not just the worn clothes or the hollow look in her eyes. It was the way she looked at them. Not desperate, not demanding, familiar. "Dad?" Noah said again, tugging gently at Ethan's sleeve. Ethan sighed, clearly irritated now. "Noah, we've talked about this. You can't help everyone." "But—" "Come on." The doors of the building opened, swallowing them into warmth, into polished floors and quiet luxury, into a world where people like her didn't exist, or at least weren't supposed to. The meeting ran long. Numbers, projections, contracts. Ethan thrived in this world. It was clean, predictable. Effort in, results out. No gray areas, no messy emotions. But Noah sat quietly in the corner, his legs swinging just slightly above the floor, his thoughts far from business deals. He kept seeing her face. The way her eyes had softened when they landed on him. The way something inside him had tightened, like a memory he couldn't quite reach. "Dad," Noah said when the meeting finally ended, "can we go back?" Ethan barely looked up from his phone. "Back where?" "To the lady outside." "No." The answer came too quickly, too firmly. Noah frowned. But she looked cold. "There are shelters," Ethan said, already walking toward the elevator. "There are services. It's not our responsibility. But what if—" "Noah." That tone again, final. They stepped into the elevator. The doors slid shut, sealing the conversation. But not the feeling. Outside, the wind had picked up. The woman was still there. Ethan paused for just a fraction of a second this time. Not long enough for anyone else to notice, but long enough for something inside him to stir. Recognition? No, impossible. He had built his life carefully, deliberately. There was no room for ghosts from the past. "Dad!" Noah's voice was different now, quieter, uncertain. Ethan started walking again. The woman looked up, her gaze landing directly on Noah. Her lips parted slightly, as if she wanted to say something but didn't. "Didn't dare." Noah's steps slowed, then stopped. "Dad," he whispered. Ethan kept walking. "Dad." Something in the boy's voice made him turn. Noah was staring at the woman. His face pale, his eyes wide, not with fear, but with something deeper, something that didn't belong to a child his age. Confusion, recognition, pain. Ethan felt a flicker of unease. "What is it?" Noah swallowed hard. Then, barely audible, he said, "Dad, that's my mom." The world didn't shatter. There was no dramatic crash, no sudden noise, just silence, heavy, suffocating. Ethan stared at his son, the words refusing to make sense. "That's not possible," he said automatically. Noah didn't look at him. He couldn't. His eyes were still locked on the woman, who had gone completely still, as if the truth had finally caught up with her. "You told me she died," Noah whispered. Ethan's chest tightened. But the words wouldn't come, because across the sidewalk, the woman was slowly pushing herself to her feet, unsteady, fragile, real. "Ethan," she said. His name? Not sir, not please, just Ethan. And suddenly the past wasn't buried anymore. It was standing right in front of him. Her name was Lila. It hit him all at once. The memories he had spent years locking away. The small apartment. The late nights. The arguments. The love that had once felt so certain, until it wasn't. "You left," Ethan said, his voice sharper than he intended. Lila's lips trembled, but she didn't look away. "I didn't leave. You disappeared. I was sick." The words landed like a stone. Ethan blinked. "What? I didn't want him to see me like that," she said, her voice breaking now. "I didn't want you to have to choose between your career and taking care of me. You didn't give me a choice," Ethan snapped. "No," she admitted. "I didn't." Noah stepped forward slowly, his small hand slipping from Ethan's grasp. "Mom," he said, the word fragile, uncertain. Lila's composure shattered. "Yes," she breathed. Oh, Noah. She dropped to her knees despite the cold, her arms opening hesitantly, as if she didn't believe she had the right. Noah hesitated for only a second. Then he ran to her. The force of it nearly knocked her over. She held him tightly as if she might never let go again, tears streaming down her face. "I'm sorry," she whispered into his hair. "I'm so sorry." Noah clung to her. "I thought you were gone." "I know," she said, her voice shaking. "I know." Ethan stood frozen. Everything he had built, every justification, every carefully constructed truth was unraveling in front of him. "You could have come back," he said finally, though the anger in his voice felt weaker now. "All these years, you could have come back." Lila looked up at him, her expression tired but steady. "I tried," she said quietly. "But by the time I was better, you had moved on. You were everywhere. News, magazines, interviews. You had everything you ever wanted. And you thought I wouldn't want you?" he asked. "I thought you deserved better than what I had become." The words hung between them. For the first time, Ethan really looked at her. Not just the worn coat or the thin frame, but the strength it must have taken to survive, to come back, to sit there day after day, hoping for a glimpse of the life she had lost. And he had walked past her, twice, like she was nothing. Dad." Noah's voice broke through the silence. Ethan looked down. His son was still holding Lila's hand, his eyes searching his father's face. "Can we help her?" Simple, honest, uncomplicated. Ethan exhaled slowly. All his life, he had believed success meant control, distance, protection, from anything that might disrupt the perfect order he had created. But standing there, watching his son hold on to the woman he had written out of their story, he realized something else. He hadn't protected them. He had abandoned them in a different way. He stepped forward. Lila tensed, slightly unsure. Ethan knelt down, bringing himself level with both of them. "You should have told me," he said, his voice quieter now. "I know," she replied. "And I should have looked," he admitted. That surprised her. It surprised him, too. He reached out, hesitating for just a moment, then gently took her hand. It was cold. Too cold. "Come with us," he said. Lila blinked. "Ethan." "Not because I owe you," he added, meeting her eyes. "And not because it's easy." He glanced at Noah, who was watching with cautious hope. "But because it's right." The car ride was quiet. Not awkward, just full. Full of everything that needed to be said and everything that didn't need words at all. Noah sat between them, holding both their hands like he was afraid one of them might disappear again. Ethan looked out the window, the city lights blurring past. For the first time in years, he noticed the people on the sidewalks. Really noticed them. Not as obstacles, not as background, but as stories, as lives, as human. He thought about how close he had come to walking away forever, from Lila, from the truth, from the chance to be something more than just successful. Something kinder, something better. He tightened his grip slightly on her hand, and this time he didn't let go.